got my guy here on Tox Talk, man, folks. I would like to welcome to the building, to the I don't know what we about to call this. HiMedia, my guy Evan. What's good, bro?
You're gonna give me a headache on this damn podcast tonight, ain't you?
I'm actually not. Because I'm just gonna honestly
Because bro, I got laid off like Friday before last. Like I got my last paycheck this past Friday. Like I'm stressed, man. And I know whenever we talk politics, like it's just like I have like a little bit of patriotism left in me, just a little bit. I'm a lefty, I'm with you, like on all that. But it's like, and I know America ain't the greatest place in the planet, obviously, but it's my home, and it's like, just because America's done some dumb shit doesn't mean we can excuse other countries dumb shit either.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we could talk about. Honestly, we'll get to that if we get to it.
But I like talking more about domestic shit, like because that's where I think like like the far left and the far right can kind of come together on some against some bullshit.
See, I don't think so, because I guess we'll start with that. I think the best.
I'm talking like Sagar engine type, like of conservatives, not not thinking.
And I look, I like breaking points. I have my issues with Crystal. I have my issues with Sagar. Definitely,
we all do.
But the problem with that type of mentality is Sagar's the type of person who still clings on to that American exceptionalist bullshit that's put us in the position that we're in now. See what, in my opinion,
a couple more years of going on like this, and then America's going to have to make concessions that we wouldn't have made 50 years ago, because because it's like other countries are like gaining power and we have stagnated. Because we're pretending like it's still post World War II and we have all the negotiating power.
That, and I would also say it's the way we've decided to basically like give the reins, like allow our government to go like full speed with foreign policy. Most of our money is going to foreign policy, to wars, to the intelligence community.
See that's a big difference. That's a big difference. People we don't give our money to foreign countries. Like there's a difference like that. When people hear we give it to foreign policy, they think we give it to foreign countries. No. We give it, like, the military is part of that. Like the military is part of our foreign policy. And I'm just saying for like anybody who's listening, who God knows how you found this fucking podcast on like in your corporatist, but
the thing that bugs me a lot is that people need to understand foreign policy. They try all these things out in foreign policy, and they bring back the most potent form of authoritarianism back here in the fucking States, and they let you live under the guise of freedom. You pick between two parties, and you can only pick between two parties, and somehow that's freedom and democracy, when they're basically essentially the same fucking party with minor differences. And I guess that's kind of where I wanted to see, but kind of get your taste, like, so people can see your taste of what your political philosophy is. Because here, like I said, American autopsy, you already know.
You like to the left, everybody to the left. Now here's the thing, I'm there too. I still, like I actually had this argument with my girlfriend when we were driving up to New York, not to New York, to the Poconos of PA over the weekend for a little vacation. She cares about this country. She cares about the problems that are having, but she's so tired, and just for her own self-care, she wants to get the fuck out and go somewhere else. Yeah. I don't really fuck with that kind of mentality, because I'm just like, I know America's got its fucking problems. Let's fucking stick around, vote, and fight against it. Like, the arc of history leans towards progress. Sure. At the end of the day, the percentage of younger people like us who are, like who are voting, the people who are going to keep the corporatist power structures going, they're dying off, literally. like those that like they're literally part of the oldest, the baby boomer generation is literally going to die off over the next 30, 40 years. And then as more of them die off, and our generation, like 20 and 30-year-olds become 40 and 50 and 60 respectively and gain power in political office because you have to replace people and shit. What's going to end up happening is that people are we grew up seeing kind of like, regardless of whether you're a conservative or a liberal socially, I think a vast majority of the people our age are going to be, progressive economically. And I think that's really, and I think it's really going to come down to and I think like the bigger fight is going to really come down to, does everybody get it, or does only people we deem as Americans get it? And that's really, I think, where the fight's going to go. But it's like, at the end of the day, I think the idea of universal basic income, like housing as a right, healthcare as a right, food and water, like basic sustenance as a right, is in our future in some capacity. I don't know if we'll see it I think we'll see some of them in our lifetime. I don't think we'll see all of them in our lifetime. But what I do know is that, I think, the current, I genuinely think that, like, I'm not impatient. I am impatient. Let me be clear. I am impatient when it comes to my own stuff, things I do control. But when it's things I can't control, like, health, like when we get universal health care, when the minimum wage rises, and the death of Mitch McConnell, things I want, but not things I can necessarily do with on my own without, great personal loss and sacrifice. You really just have to come. You like, I look at it as this: is that before I die, I know universal health care is going to be a thing, and I know that this country is not going to fall to a, I think that because of young people being the way we are, I don't think that we'll have like a communist revolution in a normal sense. But what I will think is that over time, bad ideas will die out with the generation that has benefited from, stealing wealth from our generation. And I think that there will be a natural distribution with time.
I do not believe that, because our young people are taught to worship people like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, who are the new versions of the Carnegies and of the barons of the 20th century, of the Gilded Age. We're in a
I don't think everybody. I will say, like, I'm a little worried about the people in elementary school who are a little more susceptible to the bullshit. But I will say everybody in middle, high school, college, and older, but of older age at that point, I think we're at a point. I think we're kind of like able to look at basically a billionaire shooting a rocket shaped like a dildo into space for
it's
10
like
minutes.
He's saying, "Go fuck yourself."
He's literally saying, "Go fuck yourself," and he spent the same amount of money it would take to end world hunger.
Ooh.
He literally spent the same amount of money it would take to end world hunger just to ride a fuck you stick into space for 10 minutes.
And then the newspaper that he was allowed to buy wrote loving articles about how a billionaire going to space is going to somehow benefit, a single mother of 3 children with no health care. Somehow that's going to help. Somehow that's going to help them. It's almost as if that newspaper is corrupted. Almost as if.
Which bums me out about the Washington Post, because I kind of I like, on the non-Jeff Bezos side of reporting, I like them a little bit on some of the stuff they've talked about. Obviously, I'm going to go to independent sources like Secular Talk, Breaking Points, Rising before that. Maybe Jimmy Dore. He's I don't know him. I get it. He's one of us, but like Kyle Kalinske said, he has 2 levers: normal and nuclear, and he's a little bit. And I don't know. He strikes me as a little smarmy. I don't know. I don't know. As a judge of character.
But see, I judge character too. And I judge character as seeing Kyle is somebody who doesn't even have anything close to a nuclear. Kyle is somebody that's going to go along to get along, whether that's because he wants to be in certain groups. I know it's not to gain, to be on MSNBC. I'm not saying he's correct.
I will. Here's what I say about Kyle, though. It's like he'll actually do shit in the background. Like he'll actually work on shit in the background too. Not to say Jimmy Dore doesn't.
No, but then and I'm not even trying to make it a Jimmy Kyle thing. What I'm saying is, but then Kyle will shit on people like Nick Browner, who's trying to start a third party, shit on them, talking about I don't want to openly like this your thing, bro. But how many people have you gotten in Congress, bro? You literally had to leave Justice Democrats because they got so corrupted by the Democratic Party that it basically became the opposite of what you intended it to be. So what are you talking about right now?
And he still bitches about it, like when fucking AOC and the rest of the squad don't do what the Justice Democrats intended. Like they're like it's I think, you know, at the end of the day, it's like I'll shit on Democrats all day long, don't get me wrong, but I will shit on Republicans a lot harder. Like I have
But
actual
why? We know what it is with them. We know what it is, especially with the politicians. You know what it is.
the corporatists. The corporatists are the ones I give all my shit to, regardless.
Tom Cotton didn't run on Medicare for all and said we're going to start a ruckus. They just had a 50-state march for Medicare for all, and not one progressive politician that ran on that fucking policy did a tweet about it. Cori Bush came out, but then she basically said the whole ideology behind the march was divisive, which is why she questioned even coming out. And why the fuck did you come out? What was the point?
Yo, if you ain't listen, if you ain't gonna help, get the fuck. If you ain't gonna get in line, get the fuck out the way.
Fucking Nina Turner and AOC did like a phone banking event during a 50-city march for Medicare for all.
Yo, and like city march. And Nina Turner is like that doesn't give me a lot of hope about Nina Turner either, because it's like I was kind of like.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
She's like, it's like, here's the thing. It's like anytime I see like establishment Democrats losing their fucking mind over a candidate in a primary, I tend to like favor that candidate a little bit.
But you know what taught me my lesson about that?
What?
When I started doing a little digging on AOC, and I realized AOC took
she's
out
the
Joe
biggest
Crowley.
Fucking fundraiser out of the entire goddamn caucus.
That's not the point I was making. The fact that AOC took out Joe Crowley, who was rumored to be gunning for the Speaker of the House position for Pelosi, and conveniently somebody who comes in refers to her as Mama Bear as soon as she gets in. Conveniently, she takes out the guy who was going to gun for Nancy. It's a whole Game of Thrones fucking, what was that show that that homeboy was on, House of Cards type of shit. They're all megalomaniacs.
I saw a fantastic video on TikTok I'd love to share with you. I don't actually did actually save it, unfortunately. I wish I did. But here's the thing. It was back during the I think the busing stuff. Like it was like when it was Nancy Pelosi was Speaker of the House and Mitch McConnell was like a big guy against the bill, and it was like literally for like the last, starting in the 90s and literally in like for the last 30 fucking years, Nancy Pelosi, everything in Congress has been a fight between Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi. On the corporatist level, they have been willing to sacrifice any party platform, any purpose, everything, if it means winning for their party. They literally would, like, here's the thing. I wouldn't I wouldn't give the corporatists on either parties as much shit if they actually passed shit that they were able to, that their constituents wanted, regardless of what the fuck that was. If, you know, like, but the problem is that somebody else is the majority, in the majority.
But but they have the House, the Senate, and the presidency.
No, they don't.
This is the same excuse they made with fucking Obama. If they really wanted, with the shit they want to get fucking passed, they get passed. That's just flat out what it is.
And nobody wants to make Joe Manchin's life difficult. Like, they could literally just go to him and say, "Hey, we have this new green initiative in the infrastructure bill. We could bring a bunch of federal jobs to West Virginia, right where to your constituents. We could do that. Sure. We just need your vote."
But can I be honest with you with that?
Or that you can say, "Now I can be your or you can oppose me on this, and I'm gonna make your life hell. I'm gonna make sure anybody like in Joe Biden's campaign say we're gonna fund primary against you in the 2020 election. We're gonna fund somebody, you know, who's, you know, says who's gonna make ads like, what has Joe Manchin done for you? He took away he stalled your ability to get to get healthcare. He stalled your ability to get jobs in the state through the new infrastructure bill, and he stalled your ability to get a new stimulus. He and crush him and put all the Democratic weight behind that. Or you can just be a friend and say yes. And it's like, the Democrats, the Democratic establishment and the Democratic Party in general, everybody, including this, like the lefties as they are, they make me so mad because the Republicans do whatever they need to win. They do whatever they need to win. They break whatever rule. They do whatever principle. Like, and here's the thing. Here's the thing. I will at least give them credit. They don't do nuclear options unless, the Democrats do them first, with the exception of the one they did this last time. In terms of nuclear options, I mean changing precedent. But short of that, they could give a flying fat fuck. The Democrats, by contrast, act like it's fucking mid-90s, third-wave Democrats just had a resurgence, so now we all have to go along, get along, and work together.
Yeah, dog, they've been saying the same bullshit since fucking Jimmy Carter, and that's the problem, is that, and Thomas Frank, you probably heard of Thomas Frank's book, Listen Liberal, I think it's called. He talked about this, how basically like Jimmy Carter and Bill Clinton were the prototype, the prototypes for the Barack Obama, which would be called the New Democrat. It was a shift from the FDR New Deal era style, and even FDR had his fucking problems. Like, go look at the fucking Constitution he wrote for Haiti and look me in my eyes and tell me he wasn't a piece of shit. But still, when it comes to policy,
he signed the bill to put the fucking Japanese in concentration camps. He approved redlining on a national level.
Yes,
like he gave America a prosperous age at the sacrifice of Black and brown peoples.
To
capitalize on it.
So the prosperity, even the prosperity Republicans talk about, was for white people. But that's besides the point. I'm not here to get in a race. That's
and then every fucking conservative would say that's critical race theory because they just put everything that they don't like in the history under that fucking umbrella.
Yeah, because bitch, it is. like I'm looking at, dog. When did Republicans, like, maybe they always have been? When did y'all become such bitch ass, pussy ass snowflakes, man?
They're such snowflakes. If they hear anything that they don't like.
Ron DeSantis just wrote a bill basically banning the proper teaching of history, like the at least the little bit of accuracy they do teach you in school. He's stripping that away, and he's making teachers register their political beliefs on a fucking survey. And y'all have the audacity to come to me and talk to me about China or Cuba or any. Fuck out of my face, bro! You snowflake bitch, get out my face, bro.
How about all that Cuba nonsense?
It's ridiculous, bro.
Like they had probably 100,000 people in Havana protesting, and then the fucking leader of Cuba's Communist Party comes out and says, "Hey, yo, you like free shit? You like the fact that you've got healthcare and you've got food and you've got shelter, in that putting us in power, we empowered the people." 3.5 million people came out.
Well, that's kind of true. So the thing was, the anti-government protests, they were real. There were people out in the streets, but the 100,000 you're talking about are the people that came out that followed that Sunday after those people came out, marching all through smaller neighborhoods in Cuba as well. I'm not trying to compare sizes, but the fact of the matter is that you have a group of people that they're amplifying these protests. We had all these protests in Colombia where the Colombian government was straight up whacking people in the middle of the streets. You had all these protests in Haiti culminating in the fucking president being assassinated. Not a word from the media.
Let me guess. We put the person in power in Colombia in power.
Colombia and Haiti in power. Yes.
There you
But
go.
but the fact of the matter is, you don't see the media covering it that way. You don't see fucking Ron DeSantis or any of
No,
these fucking
of course
shitheads
not.
going out there. Yeah.
Because
And
here's
it's
the
like,
thing.
but the,
It's like it's. I will even. I'll even say I don't even think it's a concerted effort. I think it's just their narrative. Because here's the thing.
nah, it's a concerted effort, bro.
Cubans have a lot of power in Florida too. Why? Because all the people who had a lot of shit and didn't help people with it and got their shit taken away because they weren't using it responsibly went to fucking Florida and bitched about it for years and
No,
years and
no, no.
generations.
Those people got their shit stripped away because they were essentially apartheid slave masters. That's the racial aspect they never tell you about in these countries like Cuba, like Venezuela,
That's
like a
right,
lot of these Latin American
because Cuba
countries.
had a lot of black and Asian, a
It
larger
was
black and Asian
racist as
population
fuck.
too.
And the fucking light skinned people, the light skinned Cubans, and basically white Cubans, especially people like Ted Cruz, were racist as fuck and were basically apartheid slave owners.
I didn't know he was Cuban until like they said they told me he was.
Yeah, I think his mama white or some shit, something like that. But the fact
That or his grandmama was like Cuban, and then then she married a white man, and then they had a white boy, and then he married a white woman, and then they had a white baby, and that's Ted Cruz. And he has a last name Cruz.
But
that was born and he was born in Canada.
But one of the stories they talk, like literally, there's documentaries of people in Cuba making documentaries about their life there and how they say the government's not perfect. No government's perfect. But a lot of the issues they have is because of the embargo. But also under Batista, like prior to Castro, like say like you were,
Oh yeah, Batista was a fucking monster.
Yeah, but say like you were one of those black people that needed to go see a doctor or some shit like that. You weren't allowed to walk through like basically the white part of towns. You had to walk all the way around because if you walk through that town, they would literally shoot you down dead in the middle of the street.
There's a reason why secret societies like the Aboquois exist.
For sure.
It's like it's unity in numbers.
Yeah. So but that's not the framing that they put Cuba in. And that's not that. Look, do I celebrate Cuba? Yes, I do. But that's besides the point. The point I'm bringing up is the media is not giving you a full picture of what's actually going on in those countries. It's the same, like point to any, it's the same thing with Myanmar. It's the same thing with Bolivia. It's the same thing with Russia, China. They're not giving you the proper framing of what's going on in these fucking countries. And the reason why that is because we have a vested interest in those countries on behalf of our corporations. We've been doing it forever.
I just love how the entire reason that America is supportive of like Israel's war crimes to such a level is simply because white American evangelicals put so much fucking money like into Israel owning all of Israel, of the land of Israel, because they have a fucking doomsday prophecy. Yeah. That's literally it. Like Jews don't even like the Jewish lobbying bloc barely gets only a fraction of its money actually comes from people of Jewish descent or of the Jewish faith. The rest comes from a bunch of fucking bumpkin hick churches who think that that once the Jews inherit the Holy Land, the rapture can start.
Yeah, it definitely is that. I'm not denying that, but I think it's more so the fact that it's just like literally a strategic point for the United States to basically export any of its terror. That's literally
absolutely
what it is. Like they're saying,
and that's like why they like let like basically these faiths sort of railroad the American government. It's like I can't wait. And like I was watching a Breaking Points clip on like the anti-BDS things and contracts. Like on like every local level of government and across like government contracts and stuff like that. I can't wait for one of those to go to the Supreme Court.
I think it's gone to with Abby Martin's case. Abby Martin just won a case, and I think they said that's.
I heard about that. I would have known if I watched Joe Rogan still, but ever since he moved to Spotify, I'm just like, dude, I get it. Like $400 million. I get it. Like he bought a ranch. Like he already had oodles of money. He's like, but
pulled some Kanye shit, bought a ranch.
Literally, man. Like, how long do you think Kanye is going to be on this social conservative like streak?
I don't think that's the I feel like that's the problem. People like to put constraints on people on whether they're right or left. At the end of the day, Kanye just like Trump because they got the same type of personality. That's what the fuck it was. If you know Kanye, you know
Blatant
that what it is.
narcissism likes to be the center of attention and has a general desire to like excel.
Sure, you can say yeah, but like basically like traits a lot of the left likes to describe as toxic masculinity, which I don't believe in toxic masculinity anymore. That's a whole nother conversation though.
Yeah,
But
see,
like,
like I'll be honest. Like I think the definition of toxic masculinity has kind of been warped. I think toxic
there's no
masculinity
such
is
thing. There's no
yeah.
such thing as toxic
Like
masculinity.
I think it just comes down to just like being a dick. Like are you treating others poorly?
Yeah,
Yes.
but can a female be a dick too?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
But
why are we subjecting being a dick solely to masculine energy? If a woman could be a dick too,
because you know troglodytes like Ben Shapiro like to talk about what a real man is, and and that's in the funny part is that those the type of men like you know they work out, they work hard, they don't like gay people. They're heterosexual, they're religious, all that shit. You know, I'll be
yeah,
honest with you.
But Ben
Like, I'll be
Shapiro's a beta.
honest.
Ben Shapiro's a beta.
Exactly. The only people I ever hear telling about what a real man should be are like not that, never what they say they are. Or if they are, they're hiding a fuck. They've got a fucking complex,
I think you
like
should
it
you should check.
screams little dick energy.
I'm gonna be real with you. I've been getting into the red pill shit, the red pill philosophy shit, and it's definitely very it's opened my eyes to a lot of shit because it's like what a lot of people don't realize it. And honestly, I've been awakened to it perfectly because I've been noticing a lot of the very feminine energy that goes on within the left. Like the left, I'm not saying the left is well, the left is pussy. That's exactly what I'm saying. But
Oh my no! I agree. The left is pussy. They don't fight the way they should, and that pisses me the fuck off.
but I feel like it's because we have like I'm not blaming like I'm not saying things like and I think it's dope that we're talking about this because I've been wanting to talk about this on the channel and I think you can help me say it in a way to where I don't offend people. So
Right.
we'll try this. But
So let's be clear. You know, you know, like as far as like the femininity and all that stuff, here's the thing. I think there's a lot of I think like I would say I'm not necessarily an effeminate man. I am not somebody who really, you know, believes in like one gender superiority over another. I'm not, you know, I'm not like, you know, do you remember when fucking Tucker Carlson tried to use Chris Hayes as an example of a beta male?
I mean he was probably right, but yeah.
Dude, Chris Hayes is 6'2", Bronx born and bred, and like it is not a bad.
Don't
And
mean
he's
shit.
not. I
Don't
know.
mean shit.
I
No.
know. I know. But the point is that like here's what I think like a man like a response like if for anybody who gives a shit. Here's what I think a man is. A man is somebody who pays his bills, pays his taxes, doesn't commit any crime like any victim any like doesn't commit crimes where there's a victim. You know, like victimless crimes like smoking weed and all that nonsense. Doesn't matter. Whatever.
Sure.
And third, treats others with dignity and respect. Like I don't like. That's not. I think that is fine.
But
I think though a lot of guys who are on the left, kind of get that kind of like white liberal
they get that
ideal.
toxic what I call toxic femininity. That's what I call it. Just like that's what I
Well,
fucking call it.
I hear in here, and let me describe what I think what I'm about to say and see if that lines up. It mirrors the white liberal in terms of like the self-flagellation
Yeah.
of you know of your demographics sins and like oh men are trash valid. Like I've seen some of my homegirls like Tinder like match conversations. Guys are fucking gross. Like nobody's saying that. Like you know and I know that there are some gross ass men out there and all that.
But hold up.
But
Now let me interject real quick. Let me interject. Because women think a man hitting on them and wanting to have sex with them sexually is gross now. I've literally seen that shit. Like you got women that think that somehow a man getting at them in a sexual, not non-physical way, like grabbing their ass or some shit, but trying to holler at them respectfully is somehow either like sexual harassment or toxic masculinity or
I
whatever the
think,
fuck.
well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Um, I think like on a place like Tinder, like you kind of open yourself up to that a little bit. But I think if you're walking down the street minding your business, and somebody uh starts basically hollering at you, I think, and to be clear, I'm speaking like I'm speaking here because my girlfriend is very vocal. She's got a fat ass and she gets hollered at a lot, and it makes her very uncomfortable because it happens a lot to the point where she wants me to go everywhere with her. So men will stop commenting on her ass and asking her to smile all the fucking time, which
Sure. Whatever.
can
Yeah,
get
sure.
which is obnoxious and gets draining. It's like I don't think and here's the thing. I don't believe women find it a bad coming from attractive men,
I was about to say something disrespectful. All right.
but b if it happens all the fucking time. Like if here's the thing. If you hear a bird, if you walk down by a bridge and there's like a seagull there and it squawks loud and it's like near your ear and it's loud and obnoxious, you go on about your day, it's whatever. It's like annoying, but whatever. Now, if you walk across that bridge and then every 10 feet there's another fucking seagull squawking at you, you tend to lose your fucking mind a little bit by the time you get to the end of the bridge.
For sure.
So but to your point, yes, there are people out there that I think there is a certain females out there that definitely do have treated like a double standard. Like they like for example, like if a guy doesn't find them attractive or isn't interested in them, they just label them as gay or anything like that. Or if they like simple pleasures like a dessert after dinner, they label that as like obviously. But I think that has more to do with how kind of reductive. I think a lot of parents teach their children about sex, or that people have to search out because parents don't teach their children about sex, sexuality, or anything.
Well, let me make this point. Well, let me make this. Well, let me.
Yeah,
go
ahead. Go ahead.
I think it's society that does that though. So like I was trying to tie it to this recent Glenn Greenwald thread that he put out. Mm-hmm. And he was basically talking about the Jimmy Dore Anna Kasparian situation and shit like that. I feel
that should piss me off. Like she had she had 7 fucking years.
But even
all through the Me Too movement, I get it, but it's like it wasn't even like that shit pisses me off because that was definitely politically motivated. That pissed me off.
At what point, like, because look, and I'm gonna say this, I don't know if I'm gonna lose people over this, but this is me being
bear with me. I'm gonna try to kind of take his crude ass and filter it through my white logic and spit it out in a way so you white liberals don't leave his ass.
I don't believe all women, just like I don't believe all niggas, straight up. And I feel like this is kind of the point that I'm getting at is we've been taught our whole lives, not even just in dating situations, but in women situations altogether. And this isn't me saying I hate women. I respect women. But the fact of the matter is we've been taught to give women this undeserved fucking respect for no fucking reason, which is why we have a lot of pampered ass, ignorant ass women out here, bro. And that's just the fact of the matter that runs around accusing innocent people, knowing they're lying, of sexual assault, knowing what it's going to do. And that's weird to me because it's like, I'm not saying I don't believe all women because I hate women and I'm misogynist or some shit. I'm saying I don't believe all women because we've seen cases where the man was fucking innocent. I've seen that in my personal life where somebody got accused of some shit and they was innocent. I've been accused of some shit. Like this was back in middle school, but almost got expelled from school because of this shit. And it took one break. He black dude, his mom made him speak up because of like the whole black people stick together type mentality and shit. His mom was on that type of mentality. Yeah. And he spoke up and I didn't get expelled from school. So it's like I'm a person that's been through being falsely accused of some shit and seeing friends falsely accused of shit. seeing famous people falsely accused of shit. And it's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? Like, and that's not me saying I don't hate women. I feel like women that get sexually assaulted, I'm there for you. But it just can't be this like you hop on Twitter and just accuse somebody of some shit and they have no.
Well, to be fair, Twitter is like sort of just like hate porn. Like it's
For
not.
sure.
It is absolutely like the type of It is absolutely is like the type of place that's just like, I don't know. It's like the problem I've always had with Twitter is just like people like who's like the scapegoat of today? Like who can I show my righteous indignation and like that I am like the end all be all of like being great, you know, like I'm the guy, like I'm morally superior, like I'm this, I'm that, like all that nonsense. That is honestly one of my biggest fucking gripes. And you know, to be clear about like I don't believe all men, just like I don't, on a level I agree. Like the thing is that like here's the thing, I will give difference to the alleged victim, you know, because like fucking power structures, both in government, in corporate America, and in Hollywood, have, let's be real, done a fucking shit job of, you know, protecting women. Like they've absolutely not like dropped the fucking ball. They've sucked. So
Yeah, but that's what the culture was based off of, and women,
right. So it's like
in those fields are going into it knowing what it is.
Right, but here's the thing: it's like regardless of what it is, and them knowing that, that doesn't excuse it for being that way, and it doesn't, and that doesn't give people a pass, whether a predator, whether it is a man or a woman, preying on somebody with less power than that man or woman, like regardless of gender. So it's like it doesn't.
But how do you know about Weinstein all those years and you don't say shit? How do y'all know about Epstein all them years and y'all don't say shit?
Right. And so the thing is that this is why we have, this is an example of why, like, because here's the thing, nobody will ever believe you.
I don't believe that.
But that's the lie that's been perpetuated in the wake of Me Too and Time's Up and all this stuff. Like like there's a reason why, like, if you silence somebody or a group of people for so fucking long,
like they did to Tara Reid.
Yeah. When there gets to be a point where like, like you're gonna get them in front of a microphone and then just fucking scream, you know, it's like if they've been silenced for so damn long, like you give them a microphone, they're gonna fucking yell. That's why all these cases came out. That's why everybody got hit. It's because at the end of the day, it's like I've had to bottle this up as I've been abused. Like it's like I bottled that shit up to the point where like I forced my brain to forget about it. And then in the wake of all this stuff, I made an accusation towards my accuser. Wasn't enough evidence. He got off scot-free. So it's like, but through the act of doing that helped immensely. And quite frankly, not like reducing, you know, people, like in the sense of like, it's like, but like the thing is that if evidence here's the thing, here's why I'll believe the victim at first, like no matter what. If the person who they're accusing says, no, I didn't do it, absolutely not, and they're adamant about it, then I'm like, okay, let's see what the evidence has to say. If they don't do that and they go into this long-winded apology and like, I'm sorry, this, like, I'm like, you know what? I think you're bullshitting, and I smell something fishy. And here's the thing, like I've actually, if you're wondering why I haven't been looking directly at the screen this time, it's because I've been looking for a Joe Rogan episode with Chris D'Elia and like this one other guy who was not Chris D'Elia, but the other guy who was accused of sexually assaulting a girl, and he literally put out a full minute video saying, I did not happen. This did not happen. I promise you with my heart. And and I'm like, I saw that and I'm like, here's the thing. I don't know this person. I'm not attached to this person. But unlike Weinstein, unlike Epstein, unlike a lot of these other fucking creepy ass people in Hollywood, government, not
Trump,
even, yeah,
Joe
not
Biden.
not like the fact of the matter is like I didn't like they like a lot of the other guys didn't say I didn't do it. Biden never said, I never came forward publicly and said I didn't do it.
Yes, he did. He said it multiple times, and there's facts saying that you did do it. The facts are there. If people are willing to look, it's there. The facts are fucking there. But the fact of the matter is, people. But the fact of the matter is,
listen to me. I said when I say that, I don't mean it like when they say I didn't do it. Then I'm like, let's look at the evidence, and if the evidence doesn't look in your favor, I think Joe Biden and Trump are rapey. Like the evidence, like there's too many people. There's too much video evidence, like photography, like testimonies, evidence, whatever. Like, yes, what I'm saying here is that I'm trying to say for my fucking audience, listen to me, god damn it, is just like believe the victims, yes. If the other person says no, I didn't do it, let's look at the evidence. If the person is like gives some kind of like backwater apology trying to save face, like that to me is like says, okay, you like, I don't know if everything what she said happened, but you got some skeletons in your closet you don't want coming out. Whether it's about this or something else, like you're doing something shady.
Yeah, but
still wait for the evidence, but it's like your like public opinion is not going to be in your favor when you do that. What was his name? Brian what the fuck was his name?
Oh, Brian Callen. Yeah, I know you're
talking about. Brian Callen. Yeah, he literally nobody talks about like unless you're like one of those like super duper like it's my identity like type of like radical like Me Tooer. Yeah. You're not like nobody. I don't think anybody really thinks like that. Like Aziz Ansari is another example. Like he did like yes. Like it's he says that's not how it happened. And he was clear about it. So it's like at the end. So here's my thing. At the end of the day, when it comes down to like, yes, don't believe all women, don't believe all men. I completely agree. When it comes to like a case by case basis, for me, I think a good healthy way of doing it is like take the woman at face value at first. Wait for the person to respond and see what they say. If what they say is not good,
like Cosby, I was like, come on.
And here's
I saw that coming, bro. Honestly, I saw Cosby coming,
bro. And here's the thing: it's like OJ. It's like we know he did it.
This nigga wrote a book called "If I Did It." Nigga, fuck out of here, dog.
Yeah, and listen to me. Listen, Cosby got off simply because of prosecutor incompetence.
Yeah, and guess who the fucking lawyer was? The fucking DA at the time. Trump's lawyer that represented him during the second impeachment trial also has ties to Epstein. It's very weird how all these DAs give all these pedophiles these sweetheart fucking deals. Very weird, and very weird for the Trumpers out there. It's very weird that Trump appoints the guy who gave Epstein that sweetheart deal and fucking Acosta. It's very weird, almost as if as Trump appointed Barr as well. And William Barr and his whole family have ties with Epstein. William Barr's father gave Epstein his first shot. But go ahead.
Yeah, it's it's kind of I think it's kind of strange. It's like how like you have like those like dogmatic anti-gay preachers, like I hate the gays, 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 like I hate the gays, I hate the gays, and then like for 6 to 10 months to a year, like I hate the gays, I hate the gays, I hate the gays, I hate the gays, and then one day out of nowhere you see a picture on TMZ of them in a brothel blowing an Armenian sailor, like I hate the gays, I hate the gays, I hate the gays, I hate the gays. Oh. And, so it literally just for me it's like.
Motherfucker just thrown a microphone on my show, man. What the fuck, man? This is supposed to be PG-13, man. What the fuck wrong?
Man, suck my dick. This ain't PG-13. fuck you, bro. But the point is it's like this. It's like if you are so adamantly anti something, you secretly want it. Yeah. And I'm slowly thinking like that's what like a lot of conservatives want. Like I feel like there's
that's why I don't go hard on Me Too or any of because like I'm not against them. I'm just against the irrational thinking behind some of them. Kind of some of the crowd
Governor
thought.
DeSantis, have you gotten bussy on Epstein's Island?
He probably did.
This is a safe place. You can let us know.
My money would be on he blew Trump before he went to Epstein Island because he's a Trump dick rider.
Man, he's been blowing Trump for you. Bro, if Trump doesn't, I will say this though, if Trump doesn't run, and Ron DeSantis runs, he'll fucking win. Like, here's the thing.
That's scary. Bro, that's scary to me.
He's the only person
I would have said 2 months ago, I would have said I wouldn't care until he signed that anti-protest bill and he signed that bill. I think I said this earlier, but professors have to basically register with their political beliefs via a survey.
Yeah, it had me bugging. It had me bugging. So
and Republicans are okay. They're okay with it. All the dumbasses, the Candace Owenses, and everybody from the Shapiros to the Owenses to the absolute morons of Candace Owens, they all are for this shit. But then we'll 5 minutes later talk about censorship online. Fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah, you're fine to let the government
censor people you don't like, censor ideas you don't like.
And yep, absolutely. And then, but as long as you have the ability to call someone a slur online, you don't give a shit.
I don't necessarily think it's that, because I don't think, especially with voters and even with some of the people in Congress, I don't think it's necessarily that. I think it's more so the fact that they want to be in their little bubbles. They're literally like liberals. They're the opposite of the Young Turks. Like, the Young Turks think they could just censor Alex Jones and everything will be fine. That's not how censorship works. That's not how it fucking works. Once you censor the most outlandish, that's when they start. Like, how does the saying go? They came for this group of people. I didn't say anything. They came for this group, and then auto,
I think is that all they came.
There was nobody left to say anything.
They came for the Jews. I didn't say anything. They came for the Catholics. I didn't say anything. They came for the Protestants. I didn't say anything. They came for me, and there was nobody there to protect me.
Yeah,
to help me.
And that's it's insane, because at the end of the day, it's not there to serve anybody's ideology.
I genuinely think, like the conservative party of this country. Oh, hold on, I'm having
you froze.
Yeah, I'm having a brief issue with my setup on my mic, on my what's it called, on my camera.
Whatever cam that is, the quality was great, bro.
We are going to swap over to the backup real quick. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience. I appreciate you. Full HD webcam, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is why I am a professional. Now I'm going to turn this light down a little bit so I don't look like a washed out fucking spook. I spent an entire weekend at the beach, didn't get a lick of tan. I'm a pasty ass white boy. But the point is that I genuinely think that the Republican elites of this country are going to slowly turn our country into a fascist state. And I think
it's the Democrats doing it right now, though, bro.
I think the Democrats are so fucking in a delusion of what the world is like right now, and what their constituents actually need, because of their fucking corporate money. They're sucking the dick of corporate America.
No, they're going to let America is their constituents. That's the problem. And it's also,
when I say constituents, I mean the people that actually voted for them. Yes, I understand what you mean in that sentiment, but if I'm talking about corporate America, I'm saying who owns them. Their constituents are who voted them in office, but
nobody voted Joe Biden in office. People overwhelmingly wanted Bernie Sanders. Nobody voted him in office.
I know. Literally, there's a reason why Pete Buttigieg is the fucking transportation secretary. It's like everybody that fucking dropped right before the fucking critical in the primary and put their support behind Joe Biden, literally gave them the swing state of Ohio enough to beat out Bernie Sanders. Which, if they didn't fucking do that and spook all these Democrats who vote with principle and not necessarily,
I will never vote for a Democrat ever again. I will never vote Democrat. I'm probably not ever going to vote ever again. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I felt like a fool when I
so
walked out the
why
door.
should I listen to what you have to say?
I think that's complete bullshit. You should be listening to what I got to say because you got a whole
You don't
country full
vote.
of people. Yeah, most of the country doesn't vote.
Yeah, I
Like
know. Well, that's why I don't listen to the. That's why I don't listen to some dumbass boogaloo boy living in bumblefuck PA. Just like how I don't listen to any of the
those
wannabe
are the
little
people you
gangsters here
have
in
to.
Wilmington.
Those are the people you have to reach. Those are the people you have to reach. Joe
Exactly.
Biden is not reaching those people. Joe
Bernie
Biden is throwing
Sanders
those people in
did,
prison.
and so did Donald Trump first term.
Yeah, but the
And
problem
here's the thing:
is
people. I hate how the fucking Democrats are acting like people wanted them in office. Literally, people didn't want 4 more years of fake populism.
but let's be real. The election, like, look, I'm not saying the election was stolen. I'm not saying none of that shit. But to sit here and pretend like we don't have election integrity problems in this country is fucking ridiculous. But Democrats don't want to have that conversation now because their guy fucking won.
Yeah.
That's just bottom line what it is. But the March for Medicare for All.
Oh, yeah. So here's the thing. I found out about that when you mentioned it. Like, I've been off the grid, almost off the grid for since Friday. So I've had no clue.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, man. The March for Medicare for All went down this.
How'd that go?
Unfortunately.
I wager no fucking coverage by the mainstream media, of course.
Hell no. Secular Talk did a video about it today talking about that. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it because I have family shit going on, so I couldn't make it. But my guy Sheree, I fuck with him heavy. He was the one that was coming on he came on Tox Talk with a couple other guys a couple other organizers from the march, and we're talking about it. Dude, it was beautiful to see with the amount of
my toilet's a risk. My bad. That thing got sort of possessed by a demon and just likes to overflow for no fucking reason. Continue.
I feel you. With all the vitriol they faced online, there was bad, and I don't want to say they're bad faith actors, but I'm not going to go as far to say they're operatives for the Democratic Party. I think some of them are definitely. But it's just to shit on people or poor people. The people I talked to, he brought on the show.
Hey, yo, I don't want my teeth to rot out my skin, my face, just because I can't go to the dentist. Can I just have a little dental health care, please? No, crushed under the gears of capitalism. Okay,
but more just regular people. Some of them not even partisan for the most part. Some of them are definitely. But people organizing a march, and it was off the back to the Force to Vote movement. So that was off the rip what gave it the bad taste. And I was just scrolling through Twitter today, everybody from Anna Kasparian, Emma Vigilant from Majority Report, just shitting on these people, bro. Yo, they just organized a fifth because unfortunately they and it's not Jimmy Dore doing this. Jimmy Dore is helping the people trying to get the march popping. And this is why I can't fuck with that crowd, that Sam Cedar TYT crowd. They take Jimmy Dore and post his face as what the movement is, as what the whole movement is. Where even within the movement, you have people that have different ideologies. Some people don't fuck with the squad. Some people do. Some people are part of the fraud squad shit.
They're just I just want health care. I just want health care.
But and this is where I realized kind of what you were talking about, this white liberal gatekeeping type shit that's happening, that I'm seeing with progressive media now. It's fucking ridiculous, man. And it's I used to watch the show.
The Democrats are liberals. The corporate Democrats are liberals. They are liberals in the sense they're liberal, but they're not left. They are liberal in the sense of they will fight for the social politics and all that nonsense and go to bat on that front, but they will not actually do anything that will substantively change people's lives. The fact
they'll make it worse. They'll actually make it worse with Joe Biden's crime bill. People forget Joe Biden wrote the Patriot Act.
Yeah, but the thing is that the more the fucking corporate Democrats fucking focus on this shit, it's the end of the day. If the corporate Democrats just went off to the side and let the left do what it needed to do, the Republicans would probably never win another election. At least not for a generation.
I don't believe that, and the reason why I don't believe that is because
fuck Republican and Democrat, corporatist and progressive. like
But I
yeah,
don't believe that, because the quote unquote progressives, and I'm not saying these people aren't progressive, but they have this gatekeeping elitist mindset, especially some of the politicians definitely do, and especially
absolutely.
the talk the media, like people, like that's why I used to watch Sam's show till I started seeing him talk down to working class people like myself in such a demeaning way that people are like, fuck you, like you're not going to you're like, not you, the whole point of making movements, in my opinion, like in organizing, you're going to have some Republicans in there, you're going to have some libertarians in there, but
Exactly. But
they don't want that. They're because they're in the same business as the Rachel Maddows. They're in this division thing. That's what Sam Cedar is.
the
He's there to divide.
American, the average voting American cares about one thing, I think, above all others.
Material shit. That's all they care about.
I would say respect. I'm
That
talking
too.
about like
Definitely.
if I were to sit down and have a conversation with this person, and if I were to hear them talk about me afterwards, both times would I feel respected? Would I feel like this person respects the work I do, the effort I put in, and the person I am? You may not have to agree. He or she may not have to agree. They may not even have to want all the same political stuff. But would they respect me, and would they respect, like my humanity? Which,
Bro,
let's be real, is such the fucking bare minimum of what, like, that is such the fucking bare minimum of what
and
we
they
should
can't
have for a
even meet
politician,
that.
and they can't even meet that. I thought
They're shitting
some of
on
the
Jimmy
people,
Dore. They're shitting on Jimmy Dore.
I
Who says
thought
this?
I thought people in the squad felt like that initially, but now, really, all of them feel just as
Yes.
condescending.
Well, the thing is, with people like AOC, for example,
And
now I'm
also,
not like,
right, but before we get into that rabbit hole, I also want to say, when we say working class Americans, like I remember I was watching Secular Talk, and Kyle made this distinction, like, and it baffled me that people think this way. When people think, there's some liberals that think when you say working class Americans, you're thinking white working class America.
yeah,
You're completely segregating the fact that black and brown people, gay people, and LGBTQ LMNOP, everybody has to work shitty, or everybody, like the vast majority of Americans, have to work shitty, underappreciative jobs. Like, I saw, do you know who Louis Rossman is?
no,
Okay, so he owns a repair shop in New York, but he does a lot of right to repair, which I'm very big on, which is like a whole nother thing. It's like Apple and shit, basically making it so people can't, like, basically don't own products that they own, and they can't repair it. And if they try to repair it, like, legal action is brought against the repair shops. Shit, it's fucking nonsense is what it is. But I digress. Fact of the matter is he recently shared I think, I forget which news outlet it was from, but it was basically like how rich people in the Hamptons are getting really pissy because all of the service-based stuff that, like, they have, like Starbucks, nail salons, the hair salons, all these stuff, aren't able to find people to deal with entitled, naggy, awful human beings at
facts.
mediocre wages, especially in an area like the Hamptons, where rent is so astronomically high that a lot of these people have to commute far into it to even do this shitty, terrible job.
Yeah, they're
There
like,
was
fuck
even
that.
there was a salon owner who literally ran into one of her former techs she had to let go during the pandemic, and this nail tech, basically had made so much more during the pandemic by doing house calls, literally, and didn't but because they didn't have to share any type of cut with the salon, she was making a killing. And basically, like, the salon owner basically begged her to come back, and this nail tech basically gave her a giant look of pity and said, "No, I'm not coming back, but if you ever need house service, I'm happy to help." Which is like, say what you like. I think he made a very interesting point. there are going to be people like with these inflated unemployment benefits who are going to, abuse it, whatever. But that's fine. And every
It's a
social safety,
minority.
yeah, it's a minority. In every safety net around the world, there is a minority of people who take advantage of it. For some
But
reason,
the
American.
UBI studies show the opposite.
Exactly. Because exactly. The difference is that with this unemployment, there's conditions. There's conditions like you're not allowed to better yourself. You're not allowed to grow. You're not allowed to do any of those things.
I mean, if you ask me, it was used to destroy the family, particularly the black family. If you ask me, but that's a whole other topic for another podcast.
Well, the fact that fair enough, and I will say this on that note, like if you actually look at like why a lot of like the child care, like the CC, like the Child Protective Services, all this stuff, like the welfare system, all the reason why all these things suck is because they made it with the intent that you should feel like you never want to be on it, and they make it so like you're never able to advance if you're on it, which is counterintuitive to entirely to a system like that.
Yeah.
So but I digress. But so the point is the fact of the matter is that there's a significant amount of the population that is fed the fuck up of like who are literally like in some cases starting their own enterprises because they're like, if I'm gonna get fucked every time there's an economic crisis, I'm gonna get fucked on my own terms and not feel bad about myself going to the shitty job day in and day out.
But
and that's not everybody, but it's like people are going to wait until the end of September to go back to find a job because at the end of the day, like these jobs don't like they're desperate for people now and they're bitching about nobody wants to work anymore. Well, like you're not paying people enough. And this pisses me off about Joe Biden so fucking much because he says like, you want workers? Pay $15 an hour. But then he doesn't raise the fucking minimum wage.
Yeah, because he doesn't actually believe it. But here's my problem with that is though, like I don't want to be teaching people the solution is to become a owner of enterprise. That's the fucking problem. That's why you have this narrative.
Why do you think I'm a business owner? Why the fuck do you think I started building websites for baby boomers in Wilmington, Delaware? I started doing that because even at age like fucking 15, I wanted to start a business with my friend because even at that age where I didn't know the vast majority of how deep the economic issues are in this country, I could recognize as a fucking fetus that the only class of people that are cared for in this country is the owner class.
But but with that, the people bitching the most about this, like I feel like you're different because you necessarily you're not like a restaurant or physical work with it. Like you're more computer business business.
I'm a one man.
Like
I can literally start up a website for $20 and see if a business will sink or swim on the merits of it alone.
Yeah, but I'm talking about people that like restaurant owners, like contractors, whatever type of whatever
whose businesses are literally built on the back of not paying their workers well.
Exactly. And that's we're teaching workers the act of basically the idea of joining the owner class by exploiting your fellow worker. That's honestly one of the aspects I love about communism is basically the camaraderie between workers. I love that shit because we shouldn't be brainwashing and indoctrinating people. This is my problem with black people.
Have you ever heard of like DuPont's competitor Gore?
Yeah, I heard of them. Yeah.
They literally have that model. Everybody in that company, from the lowest paid position to the highest paid position, gets paid based on how well the company does.
See, I don't see even with that, like, because that's kind of
here's what I mean. Everybody like
here's kind of that bullshit Moush should be talking about though, bro. I'm not looking for people to have I'm looking for people to have like equality, not be equal, not equal outcome, but equal opportunity, bro. I'm not out here like giving people like cooperatives and shit like that.
I'm for equity. I'm for I think, and I've talked to you about this before. I think at the end of the day, if you I think your basic needs should be met. There's a roof over your head. There's food in your there's the proper type of nutrients in your belly. There's clothes on your back, and there's a clinic if you need it for free. Everything else in your life, if you want better housing, better taste in food, that doesn't just cover your needs, your sustenance. If you want better clothing, if you want better amenities, like a better cell phone, a better TV, better anything, like go work for it. Like I genuinely do believe that in America, like in any country, you should not have to work. Like you should not have you, like if you I just do not believe that if for some reason you lose your job and you can't get another one for a certain amount of time and you have no other safety net, you die. That is bullshit, and that is a type of Darwinism and a type of thinking. The people that think that have never actually struggled in their life. They've never starved. They've never strived. Like they've never actually been in a place where like if they miss appropriate if they get a fucking car ticket, like that could like they could get put out on the street. Like the people who always think that stuff like have never actually like struggled to the point of like they're not like I've never been to a point where like there's no help. Like there's nobody's gonna come help me. And if they are like that and they have experienced that, they defer the blame. They say the reason I'm like this is because of somebody else, and they're never able to take ownership of it. I know you and I kind of disagree on like things, but I do believe that there is honor in work. I do believe, and here's the thing: if you don't want to work, that doesn't mean you should starve and die. But I do think that building something, like if you want to if you want to focus on like your like create art and like create amazing things like that, or write a book or do anything like that, sure. And if you need, and here's the thing, you deserve like a roof over your head, you deserve food in your belly and clothes on your back to make that happen. Nobody
is, when people have more time to do shit, it breeds more innovation.
Exactly.
That's just the fact of the matter. That's exactly what people don't realize.
I
think it breeds healthy innovation, because I think Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are toxic innovation. I think
because here's the thing: the entire auto industry tried to fucking kill Tesla the moment it was born, and the only reason Jeff Bezos was able to keep it going despite lack of investors and the initial stages because he had Elon is because he had fucking PayPal money. So
yeah, but even with that, he got money from from mommy and daddy that were running basically fucking blood diamond mines in Africa, so he could go fuck himself.
Doesn't it fucking frustrate you that like the wealthiest among us have enough money to they just literally just handed it and instead of having their dick fighting of like who can get to space first and like leaving the rest of us behind and staying safe while the planet is dying and shit, like, and it says, oh, I'm gonna fucking single-handedly use my money to make it so everybody in our country doesn't have to fucking like starve to death. We're watching
Elysium happen before our eyes, and nobody gives a shit. Literally, we're watching the plot to Elysium happen right before our eyes.
Cyberpunk 2077. Do you know where all the rich people live? In a fucking space base circling the Earth, and all the other literally, and all the people who are like all the people that aren't rich enough to pay for up there, like the people who are really rich have the luxury of living don't have to worry about anything. But yet literally, like if you're disabled or anything, like you're fucked. Like the concept, like the world of Cyberpunk 2077 is fucking grotesque and scary. And I genuinely feel like we're minus like the fucking cool like cybernetic implants, we are on our way there. Just massive wealth inequality and a general apathy for our fellow man.
You're probably going to hate me, but I don't even think it's going to get to that. And you're going to hate me for saying this. You're definitely going to disagree with me when I say this. I think the only hope that we have is adopting like through, and I hate to say this because I'm not a person. So when I say this, don't take me as somebody advocating for small government. That's not what I'm advocating for. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to take mutual aid type networks and cooperatives and shit like that outside of the government to do these types of things that we want to do, because they're clearly not going to do it. And we need to be looking at China as a model for that, in my opinion. Honestly, that's wholeheartedly how I feel.
Is it because the people in China generally have to help each other in the far-flung areas of it because the government's not always there to help them?
Well, no, because the government is there to help them. And when the government tries to help them, we call it fucking slavery. Like in Xinjiang, they've poured billions, almost trillions of dollars into that fucking region through their poverty alleviation, measures. So the point that I'm making is that the China has had the United
You
States.
really don't. You really don't believe that they have concentration camps for Uyghurs, don't?
No, I don't. And you know why I don't believe that? Because you literally have Uyghurs telling people here in America to stop spreading the stories because companies are not going to do it's taking work away from the people in the region. See, they're actually employed there. And you literally have Uyghurs in China saying, hey, stop spreading these fucking rumors because companies aren't coming here to bring business here and we're losing our fucking jobs. So when you push that narrative, you're making their lives fucking worse.
Well, for one thing, and this is probably one of my more right-wing beliefs. I don't think American companies should be sending, be building shit in China. They should be building shit here because part of the reason like we were having such a hard fucking time in the beginning of the pandemic was simply because all of our shit was made in China.
That's not a right wing idea. That's common sense. But I'm looking at it. But guess what, bro? This is what I tell people all the time. That's your God at work, nigga. That's capitalism. That's what it is. There's good aspects of it, but when it goes unchecked, that's what fucking happens.
Well, here's the thing, like the fact of the matter is that like everybody's sort of doing a sort of like at cost, like as needed, supply lines. It's like I can start drop shipping.
It's not profitable to store shit in masks. It's not profitable to store masks.
You know what? Yeah. Here's the thing. You know what I think is gonna happen from this? If anybody in our generation starts a bigger business, I think that people are gonna start storing shit. I think people are gonna start doing, especially if it's in like more valuable things like food, medicine, and anything like that, like non-perishables, obviously. Like I think the days of over the next 10 years, I think the coronavirus is not going anywhere anytime soon. Like it's not going to drop off the face of the earth. It's like this Delta variant. I don't think is as terrible as people say. But what I do think though is that the fact of the matter is this. We live in a world where like we now have to get two yearly vaccines. We got to get a flu vaccine. We got to get a COVID vaccine.
I'm not getting one of them shits.
Well,
we're not going into that. We'll go into that.
Can I make one promise? I have one promise. If you die of COVID, I want you right now to promise me that I get to write your obituary.
No, I want my mom to write my obituary.
No. Here's the thing. Like I'm gonna say, Caleb was a smart, was a politically minded and ingenious young man who, despite all his character traits and ingenuity, was still such a dumbass that he didn't think that he thought the government had the COVID vaccine was going to kill was like it had something in it.
No, I don't think it has something in it. I think it's still experimental. I would rather wait. See, that's the difference that people.
I got the vaccine.
I feel you, but I'm going to wait to see more outcomes to see how it affects the population as a whole, because I'm not taking that shit. I see that's cognitive dissonance, bro.
Here's the thing.
How the fuck? Hold on, wait. How can
listen? If you want to be a part of the dumbass guinea pig group, fine. No, I get it.
No, I'm asking a question.
If you want to be the placebo group, sure.
I'm asking the question. How can we scream from the hilltops, fuck big pharma? We don't trust big pharma. We've seen big pharma prescribe drugs to people that made them addicts. We've seen big pharma do all this shit. But now I'm supposed to trust these niggas when it comes to probably the most important vaccine in human history.
Was it approved? This vaccine was approved by the FDA. And here's the thing. As long as the FDA, I get it. But the fact of the matter is that while the FDA, yes, the cost of submitting a patent and application to that is very, very expensive, and only the big pharma can do it, and there's a lot of handshaking going on. I get that. But here's my thing. Bro. I get it. From a capitalistic perspective, absolutely it's a rigged game. Insulin should not be $800 a fucking bottle, and the only reason it is because you can't sell insulin
Hold on,
unless
wait.
you send it to the FDA.
Insulin is $800, 800 bottles of vial, but they willing to get this shit away for free. Fuck y'all niggas. Nah,
Exactly,
I'm chilling.
and that's the big fuck. And
I'm
here's the
chilling, bro.
thing, and I love it because that is the exact thing that a lot of that people say, and I'm like, and come on, like you're almost there, like universal, like it's like I hear like I see like a fucking like right wing pundit like
No, see, yeah, but see the difference between socialized health. This is why I'm saying Medicare for all definitely is a good policy point, but I don't think it's ever going to fucking happen. I think they're literally going to give it to you when the country literally has no money, because the reason why I say that is capitalism
we are
always
literally
picks
going to
up.
have to go through another Great Depression type of thing for to get anything like FDR was like was able to get the fucking capitalists and shit off his back because he basically said to them, hey, listen, like we either give them work, give them money, give them a paycheck, and get them out of this and give them resources to survive during this depression, or they're going to come and take it from you. What's it going to be? Do you like you can either get paid, like you can either get a 74% tax like rate on your individual taxes, or angry people are going to come to your front gate and kill you and your family and take all your shit. What the fuck is it going to be? And
See, but we don't have those people here no more. They rooted them all out in the 20s, the early 20s during FDR's era, and especially during the 50s, 60s, and 70s. They killed them all. All of these people left are pussy, bro. They're pussy, they're bitch made, straight up. And this is the point I wanted to make earlier. Like a lot of these, like especially like talking heads and shit like that, like they talk about they want to fight for the working class. Look, I'm a
no
motherfucker. I'm a forklift driver. I'm a forklift driver.
Why don't you take a pot shot at Jeff Bezos to prove your loyalty?
No, they do that. But my thing is they would rather see the problem is the PC nature around leftism and a lot of this like basically like tone policing and shit like that, because the working class people you claim to fight for, I'm telling you, I'm a forklift driver. I've worked in construction too. If you think somebody like Jimmy Dore is beyond the pale because of what he says, please, I want Sam Cedar. I want Emma, and I know Sam Cedar knows this. I want Emma Vigilant. I want Rational National, Humanist Report. All these niggas.
I like Humanist Report.
I don't fuck with him because he's a bitch. I don't like that shit. I don't like that. I don't like the duplicity behind the force to vote shit. But that's a different conversation. Walk through. I want you to walk through a construction yard and hear the way they talk, and still say you want to fight for work, because those are the people you're fighting for. Whether you agree with them politically, socially, sexually, whatever the fuck it is, those are working class people. Working class people isn't leftist. I feel like they're working.
Right. Working class people look like me, look like you, like are men and like dick, or women and like pussy, or a woman that likes to dress like a man, or vice versa. We all like, if there's one thing that unites the other 99% or the other 90% is the bullshit we have to deal with. And make no mistake,
I'm about everything they don't like. They label everybody they don't like or disagree with as fascist. I see that thrown around a lot. Like people like the Boogaloo Boys and shit like that. I personally know Boogaloo Boys. They're not racist.
They're certainly like absolutely anti-government in terms of like the current anti-corporate government.
For sure, but you're gonna align with them on foreign policy. I'm going to a fucking war rally later on in September, on September 11th, actually. The Magnus Panvidia guy.
The Antifa people that like will knock the fuck out of the Ku Klux Klan, those are the people I'll get behind. The people who like say put Antifa on their fucking Twitter bio and have never don't leave their house, fuck off. Like if you're not listen, here's my thing. I am realistically risking my own like future prospects. Like I'm in corporate America, dude. I've literally got a job interview at Comcast tomorrow to be a software engineer.
You got a fucking interview with the devil. Go ahead.
Hey, bro, I'm unemployed. I got bills to pay. Like I can't make a YouTube channel. I can't make a YouTube channel. I can't make a podcast. I can't do all this shit. if your boy ain't got a place to live without
Respect.
Wi-Fi, and like a credit card bill's got to pay for because he bought this new fucking computer. I got to do what I got to do, but it's like they could go digging. They can find the shit. Like I've got a political podcast called the Angry Zillennial, like, or what the Angry Zillennial, like where I literally
you didn't invite me.
I'll be honest with you, that podcast is really just for me ranting. That's really all it's for. Like if I want to have you on,
I'm better than you at ranting, bro. Come on, dog. I'm fucking with you, bro.
I know it's just like it's just sometimes I see some dumb shit on the news and I just have to let it out somewhere, and that's where I do it.
Yeah, but, like Joe Biden's brain fart.
Oh because I saw so many videos of that, and I'm just like, listen, can I just pretend for 10 minutes that like our country's run by someone competent? For the love of God, like we had the fucking like orange clown from hell for 4 years,
orange coked up clown.
Literally getting fucking amphetamines from the UK, but that's a whole other thing. And now we've got the fucking sad boy from the special class running the country.
But you know he's funny. You know Trump was funny, bro.
He was, and here's the thing. To me, it would have been a lot more funny if he wasn't just a populist, like a populist veneer over just blatant corporatism.
For sure, but let me say this: the funniest him going out, it was like the cherry on top. He was at like some kind of science whatever, like symposium, whatever they call that shit. What do they call it? Symposium, whatever that shit's called. And this guy's ranting at him like, the planet's heating up, we need to do X, Y, and Z. You need to take action on this, Mr. President. You really need to do something. The guy was yelling at him. Trump sitting just like this, looks at him. He said, it'll get cooler. Just you watch. And it was like one of those things like, what the fuck? It was so outrageous. Everybody started laughing, including Trump. Everybody knew it was like almost like seeing a troll being a troll, and you all in the room just start laughing because it's so ridiculous. Or
it's like, or it's like when he fucking he went on Twitter after he said maybe I'll buy Greenland. He says I promise not to do this, and had one of his interns fucking Photoshop Trump Tower on fucking Greenland.
Bro, he said to Jeb Bush, to his face at the Republican National Convention televised.
Fuck your wife, bitch.
The Twin Towers went down under your brother. And Jeb Bush was like, how can you say that? How can you say that? We were raised by my mother. She's such a strong woman. She should be running. She should be running.
Literally. Democrat, like, listen, if Bernie Sanders was like
had
that,
the attitude of Trump, he would have won. Waxed the floor with Biden, have
won. No matter, there was nothing all the super delegates in the fucking planet would not have been able to prevent him from winning the primary.
If he would have just fought, especially in 2016, if he would have just fought.
The fact of the matter is that it's like he also knows that there's also a very good chance of him not winning, and he can't burn too many bridges because then he's not gonna be able to get anything fucking done in the Senate for his day job.
Yeah, but honestly, I'm kind of glad that he didn't fight because it revealed his character. Bernie's not the guy, and I don't think anybody's the guy. I think we're the guy. I think we the people are the guy, honestly, and that's what we need to realize.
I still wish Tulsi had a better run. I liked her. Yeah, I like her still.
Yeah, but you had that same Young Turks, Sam Cedar crowd tearing her down. Like, what's your position on Modi? Why didn't you? What the fuck? Why did you abstain on the Trump impeachment? What, like, all this dumb shit? Like,
because maybe it's because at the end of the day, the people who are fighting, who like Trump, are so angry and upset with the corporate elite that maybe when I decide to go run and I win the Democratic primary at some point in the future, and I'm in the general election against a Trump-style candidate who's just having the veneer of populism over just blatant corporatism, maybe they'll vote for me because at the end of the day, I didn't try to silence their voices by getting rid of a guy that they saw as fighting for them, even though at the end of the day, maybe he wasn't.
And
she could have said exactly that.
Yeah.
And fucking won a large swath of
the
country. Because here's the thing, at the end of the day, yes. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I talk too damn much.
Oh, yeah. No, bro, I love it, dog. I love it. I love the energy. But nah, it was like, but that's the thing. she could have said all that, and the Anna Kasparians of the world would have been like, well, what about your position on you used to be a homophobe, or you used to be like just ridiculous shit.
Bitch, Hillary and Obama used to be homophobes. Like
Bruh.
before, like we literally like it. What like I had to hide my support of gay people for years because fucking lunatics in the far right would put out hate campaigns against me. It just America didn't learn to love gay people the way I do, like the gay community the way I do until much later. And it's like I wouldn't be able to help them in the small ways I could in terms of like preventing certain bills from being passed, preventing and she could list examples of like ways she's like helped that like all that nonsense. And that couldn't even be some nonsense, but it's just like at the end of the day, it's like at the end of the day, a politician's primary job in the American system is to get reelected. In the sad fucking reality of it is that the only way to really get elected in a lot of ways, like the most easy way, like the most safe way, to be honest, is to take corporate donors, don't rock the boat.
Yeah, fuck that. We need somebody in that bitch to go in there and go nuclear, in my opinion. Not even get anything done. Just go nuclear.
Like honestly. I wanted like
what Trump was supposed to be.
I wanted like I saw some of AOC's fucking like early committee things, and I'm like this bitch might throw a Molotov cocktail in here and change some shit. Maybe not enough to make a giant change, but man, fuck, was I wrong?
When you learn about her past, you realize that's not. So, and that's what I was going to say earlier. Like you see like a lot of people like Ryan Grimm and all of these fuck sticks like that. They're attacking people like Jackson Hinkle because they were pushing this story about how AOC was she wasn't a bartender. She owned a bar. And it turned out they were wrong about that. But the fact of the matter is what they're not telling you is that bar AOC was working at, like how she tried to paint it. Oh, working class people were coming there after long days of work, long days of work at Vanity Fair magazine or some shit, because you was in like a rich college part of town. What are you talking about right now?
Yeah.
Oh. And that's why because guess what? Going back to my construction worker thing I was talking about earlier, you wouldn't be saying this shit and talking down to people the way you're talking down to them now if that was actually the case. And when
absolutely,
you realize that she worked in Ted Kennedy's office for foreign policy, and when she says things like I defer my point of view on Venezuela and Cuba to the party leadership. When you find out that she grew up around in a lot of these rich college towns and she speaks that same language like cisgendered women and people of color, this, that, and the third. Normal people don't talk like that, and that's why people don't like you.
Here's the thing. The fact of the matter is that Black and brown people and gay people, they very well might, like, if they smell something, if they smell something foul, like on a politician or person or whatever, like oh, this person like actually like has some like feelings about me, like they won't fuck with them. But here's the thing, but they also, but at the end of the day, it's like,
can I ask this question? What? Can I ask this question to that? And I understand that nobody wants to vote for somebody that hates them, but why is it that it's almost like this is done to every candidate that's not fitting a certain mold? Like they did the same thing with Tulsi, and they'll claim to care about these other. AOC, where is your bill to free Julian Assange and allow Edward Snowden to come home? Tulsi Gabbard has one. You don't. What are you talking about right now? Where's your support for Bernie Sanders? Tulsi was supporting Bernie. God, I love Tulsi. Tulsi was supporting Bernie when Bernie was ignoring her. She was defending Bernie Sanders while Bernie Sanders was russiagating himself.
Can I say something terrible? Terrible? I haven't told my girlfriend this, but Tulsi Gabbard's my hall pass.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Really? I don't know, man. It's just like, here's the thing, like there's just something about like confident women that just do it for me, and I don't know, but in a way that's not arrogant.
See, I think she's hot, but I see her as like a bro. You feel me?
I get that. But but regardless, like let me plug my shit, because I know that I know you probably got to work in the morning and it's running a little late.
Nah, I don't start my new job till next week.
Oh, nice. At least you got a fucking job, man. I'm still trying to get one. Oh boy, shit ain't no fun. But by the way,
right back into forklift work.
No boy, guess what? I'm catching up. I'm about 100 subs less than you on American Autopsy. I'm gonna catch your ass. Man, I actually hit 500 today.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw you posted.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I
YouTube,
tagged you in it
YouTube's
because my YouTube's a little more kosher if you catch my drift.
yeah, they're dicking me over because of the shit I talk about, and that's what
Yeah,
pisses.
like
Like I've been at 600 for the
I
last 2 months, 3
I save
months.
the I save the really political shit for the podcasts.
Yeah, and that's where it's like, but I don't. But for me, like I don't care because this you already know what this is for me. This is where I let
This is
loose
your
on.
outlet. I will say,
Yes,
dude. I will say this though. Your thumbnails are the shit.
you think so?
I'm looking at your latest right now. Like I like them a lot.
See, I don't be liking them. I feel like they could be better. I was actually like, I don't know, thinking about like
Yo, that fucking
studying.
Exxon lobbyist pissed me the fuck off.
It's and this word like let me say this. It's for me, it's worse when motherfuckers like that are black for me. It's way worse because it's like, god damn, man. The fuck you doing, bro? What are you doing right now? You out here in these streets nasty, bro. You out here pimping yourself out for Exxon, dog. Come on, man. And it's
what did Bill Hicks say? Suck Satan's cock.
yeah, man. Bro, busting it down on Satan right now, dog, man. Nigga crazy. But it's like,
Yo,
I
can
don't
you
know.
do? Yo, here's a sham shit on my end. Sidebar. Yo, when you get a chance, can you go to my YouTube channel, like look at my shorts bar on mobile and just like all that shit because like some cocksucker keeps down liking my shit because I think I have like a troll or something because I said something not nice about President Duarte in the Philippines in my uncensored library video.
I got you. I got you. All right. Yeah, I'll do
Yeah,
that.
I don't know if you know this. Do you know I do a video called the Uncensored Library?
Yeah, I watched. Yeah, I watched a couple of them.
What do you think?
Some of them made me mad. Honestly, I'm gonna be real. Well, not mad, but like, come on, Evan. But
To be fair, recently I've only just been reading the literature supplied by Reporters Without Borders. I usually keep them like a minute and a half, 2 minutes long at this point. I'm
and
not
even
going out.
they've been corrupted in some. Like Trump broke a lot of people's brains, bro. I feel like that's
Do I think that like Trump that America should have been number like 44 on the list? Maybe not per se. Maybe we could have been a little higher. I think in terms of freedom of speech, we aren't per. We I will say though, like I think we probably would be a little higher on the list ever since Biden started gatekeeping, like preventing like White House correspondents from fucking asking certain questions and like literally they have to send their fucking like questions and their pieces to the
talk
fucking
to
White House
Gary
for
Webb.
editing like that.
Talk to Gary Webb about freedom of speech in America. Talk to Daniel Hale about freedom of speech in America. Talk to whoever, Edward Snowden, reality winner, whoever it
Did you
is.
see what Edward Snowden was a keynote speaker at like this fucking Canadian wealth scam, and he literally like the guy who's been like pitching this like fucking wealth club thing for like an hour and a half at that point. Like lets Snowden speak. He says, "Hey, yo, here's basically in a nutshell. Hey, yo, here's an article of this guy getting nailed by like the Canadian like Federal Trades Commission because he stole a bunch of money and ran a fucking Ponzi scheme, and he's still not allowed to trade stocks in Canada this day because of this. I wouldn't fucking like give my money to this charlatan, and I'm just gonna like go dip peace." And he literally logs off. And they go to a pause for like 10 minutes, and then the guy basically comes back and says, "So to be clear, I wasn't prosecuted for anything, and I wasn't charged, and I wasn't sent to jail for anything." And this was all just like a big misunderstanding. And then he goes on with the wealth thing, and people give him money. It's like $15,000 a month to be a part of this shit, and like telling people to go get take credit cards out for this shit. It's nonsense.
Yeah, it is, man. Jesus. Well, Snowden was actually talking about this in this whole spyware scandal. Have you heard about that?
I have not.
So I covered it on my channel.
Yeah, Snowden is. I will say, like, as far as an interview viewer goes, like, I like as far as in interviews, I kind of wish he'd shut up a little bit and like let people finish their sentences. But as far as like free speech and like anti-authoritarianism in America, I defer because he's like, he literally sacrificed like his life to like I remember that. Like the fact, like people forget. Like, but the thing is I think people already always knew that the NSA was like the government was spying on us at all times, and it's just like hearing it like the quiet part spoken aloud didn't surprise. Like whenever like conservatives say like shit about like we don't want like X type of person voting in our election, that's where we're putting this. Like they're saying the quiet part out loud, but we already knew this, so it doesn't surprise us.
Yeah, and it's more so that just the nefarious aspects of this one, because this one they're straight up. So so this spyware was made by an Israeli tech company called NSO. It's called Pegasus, and I don't know if you would probably notice, but a lot of the Israeli tech firms are known to be basically like ours are known to be very closely, if not directly tied to the Israeli intelligence apparatus there. Like it's just known for that.
Mossad.
So yeah, basically, and Unit 8200, all types of characters, within their intelligence apparatus. But they were selling them to some of the, so they were trying to say, well, we vet all of the customers we sell them to. We only sell it to governments and police, basically governmental bodies and shit like that, and countries and shit like that. And
Bullshit.
we wouldn't sell to countries like China and Russia, which they were right about. But guess who they will sell to? Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Azerbaijan.
Some of the worst human rights abuses in the world.
Yes.
Yep. Russia may have some. Russia may have some terrible human rights abuses. China may have some. America might have some. But at the end of the fucking day, like at least their shit is like societal and not codified in religion.
Yeah, and it's believed now. It's been exposed now that they actually Saudi Arabia used this technology to track Khashoggi. That's how they knew where he was going, and they killed him. They used that technology to spy on him. Yeah, it's wild, bro.
Yeah, I try to basically like do uncensored library whenever there's like an update on certain stuff. I try to use that as in the news. I try to use it as an excuse to like. I can't. Here's the thing about it though. I can't make that uncensored library thing too political because I don't want to get fucking slapped by the fucking shadow ban, YouTube shadow ban hammer like you are. I actually want this shit to go somewhere.
I think my channel's gonna go somewhere. It's just gonna take. I have to.
Oh no!
I gotta put more effort in. I'm gonna be real,
bro. How long has Secular Talk just been hovering 30,000 away from that million mark?
Yeah,
forever.
And that's what's weird to me. How does people? And I'm not saying Crowder and that crowd doesn't get like demonetized or people they target them, but how do they have like millions and millions of followers?
And people share. I think Kyle Kalinske kind of only focuses on YouTube and Twitter. Crowder and Ben Shapiro and the rest of them are doing what I'm doing, which is they're on every social media platform they can be at any one time, try to promote as much as they can on every single one of them. I literally have macros that when I post something on YouTube, it automatically shares it to YouTube, to Facebook. And when it's shared to Facebook, it automatically gets shared to Tumblr. Okay. I can post one place and it's posted on 3 places all at once.
You want to
literally?
Yeah. But we just been
Kyle Kalinske just does Twitter and just does YouTube. Now, if he did YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and tried to find that wider audience, he absolutely would do well. What it comes down to is not political views. It doesn't come down to appeal. It doesn't come down to anything. It's just marketing.
But if they want to get you the fuck out of here, they can get you the fuck out of here. We've seen it happen before.
Absolutely.
Like they yeeted Alex Jones.
And here's the thing, Alex Jones was a good example. Like he was really good at marketing his shit. It's like his shit got it's like you wanted, yes, he had the full show, but then he had a crew of people chopping it up into bite-sized clips to be shared every which way, everywhere. And like it really comes down to like, and this is kind of to bring it back into the political thing, because I know that this is a political podcast. It's like, the left is not good at marketing.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
We suck at it. And it's like I kind of want to like sort of like start I would like if I were to do something political, I would love to be the marketeer of the left. I would love and here's the thing, I'm not a great marketer. Make no mistake. Most of the great marketers I know are fucking centrists or Republicans. It's like, but it's like The thing though is that I may not be fantastic at it, but I can certainly take the tools I've learned by studying under people who are a lot better at it than me. And it's all about the elevator pitch. You know this for the small amount of time you were in Europe. It's all about the elevator pitch.
Bro, I'm a rapper. I know all about this, dog.
Right. So it's like take what did fucking Paul Ryan call his fucking tax cut? The American Freedom Act or some nonsense like that.
But then on the flip side of that, the fucking Democrats came up. They came up with the CARES Act, as Nancy Pelosi would say. Sunday
yeah, but
morning.
it sounds like some pussy shit. The thing is that no, I'm not voting for the CARES Act. I'm like, that doesn't tell me what.
Or Obama came up with the great, what was that shit called?
The affordable health, care.
Not health care. That deal he proposed to cut fucking Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid with the Republicans. People always forget about that shit. It was the great.
I forgot about that shit. Thank you for reminding me.
Forget about that shit. Fuck. That's why I say fuck Obama.
yeah. Fair enough.
Black wealth went down under Obama. It went up under Trump. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. But I will, and even then, Trump was just a blatant corporatist too. It was literally just
Trump was Obama for white people. That's what he was. He was Obama for white people.
He absolutely was.
But people like to pin it on just racism. And this is we gotta bring Amani on the show to talk about this too, because I want to.
Here's another thing, like defund the police. I know what defund the police means. You know what defund the police means. But the phrase defund the police is nothing. It does nothing to explain in those 3 words what the fuck it actually does.
Yeah, but a lot of conservatives are fucking bootlickers. For real.
Right.
For real. Fuck 12, bro.
They are absolutely bootlickers. But I would say to a conservative, like you say, should cops be doing welfare checks? Should cops be, getting homeless people to move their tent? Should cops be, going to a house where, a teenage boy with autism is having an episode and a neighbor called the cops? No. Mm-hmm. What should the cops be doing? They should be going to scenes where there is an active shooter.
Should cops be occupying black neighborhoods like an occupying military force? No.
The fact of the matter is that at the end of the day, police officers.
Can I say one more?
Go ahead.
Should cops continue to be trained by the Israeli military, who we know oppresses the Palestinians? No.
Should I think it was 60% of cops be getting training in warrior cop training? No. Yeah, no. So the thing is that we this is kind of where someone like Joe Rogan I kind of get a little frustrated with, because he says we should be paying cops more. I'm like, no. What you should be doing is you should take the British model, which has been exported all over the world and has worked all over the world for a fucking reason. Because even to this, starting in the 1800s, after decades of corrupt thief taker generals, His Majesty King Mom literally lynching people in the street, in the British Parliament refusing to pay for anything. It's actually, this is funny. In the 17th, basically for the 17th and 18th centuries, a lot of the fucking problems the British Empire had was simply because Parliament didn't want to pay for shit. Literally, they lost their American colonies simply because they didn't want to pay for shit.
Sounds very familiar.
Doesn't it sound fucking familiar? London was a cesspool of thievery and danger until they decided we're going to shell out money for lamp lights, and we're going to shell out money to pay for a police force federally that's separate from the army, so people trust it. And then suddenly, when the government stopped being fucking stingy and stopped justifying their lack of payment on the lax morals of the poor, or God hates them because of their decisions to be poor, problems stopped happening. But more to the point, at the end of the day, the British model was founded on the fact of the only thing cops are equipped with is a baton, a whistle, and a rattle to command attention. Now it's just a whistle into that and a walkie-talkie to call help.
Now they and like the SWAT teams have like guns and shit or
The
something like that,
SWAT
or
teams have to come,
something
but
that
you
pop up.
only call them in in dangerous situations where life could be lost, or lives have been lost. Like somebody's been shot, or someone's got a gun out holding people hostage, which is the only time the armored police are the armed police are allowed to show up.
Mhm.
And the fact of the matter is cops over there are trained more in de-escalation and social work kind of stuff. They're not dickheads. The problem is that in America, to be a cop in the UK, you got to go to school for a couple years. You got to get some real training. In America, you pass a fitness test in a 6-month course, you Gucci. You
Yeah,
could
yeah.
I could go
Or
be
you
a
got
cop,
military experience, which is even
dude.
worse in my opinion.
Dude, I could go I
Depending
could be a cop.
depending on what military experience you're coming from. If you've been in active duty, in my opinion, you shouldn't be a cop. In my opinion,
In active duty. You should
you shouldn't be a cop.
really. I would say
I
I would say active duty people would have more better trigger discipline.
people that have seen some shit, people like because a lot of them, and I definitely see your perspective because I've heard that. See, I'm not one of these vehement fuck 12 type people because I know friends of mine's like black and white and Asian, all types have had dads that were cops that aren't fucking dickheads. The problem with police is the police culture that all cops are going to succumb to. And if you don't, you either fucking leave or you go through some bullshit where they're trying to kill you or whatever.
How many of your friends' parents stopped being cops after a while?
My one homie's dad is still a cop. Now I've known him as like, so you don't get to, and that's the thing, when you know a cop, they're not going to be a dickhead to you because you know them. You feel me?
Right.
You don't see
And
them. You don't see them in the light when they're around, especially cops in like, in the hood and shit, like urban areas and shit, where it's like, yeah, you may even if they come back like Middletown. If you have a guy in Middletown, like say like I'm a black suburban kid. I was raised in the suburbs like most of my fucking life. So most of the cops I knew me because I lived in their area. But they view, and this comes from, I think comes from a lot of the Reaganism. I think that it has changed a little bit, but especially a lot of the older ones, like our parents' age, like my mom's age and shit like that. I would say 35 and up that are still cops and shit like that. They view people in these areas as hyper violent, quick to violence, prone to violence, ignorant, like the basic stereotypes they see of these people. So that's why I say it's not inherently racism. I would say it's bigoted nature and what's the word I'm looking for?
with a heavy dose of classism.
Yeah, and some of them are racist. I'm not saying cops are. I think a lot of cops are racist. I'm not denying that at all.
And I'm not saying you ain't either. I think it's a little more complex, but I do kind of believe the sentiment of like,
and I catch shit for that.
If you're a good cop, if you're a good cop, you either stay in long enough to like be a bad one, or you leave because you can't stomach it anymore.
Yeah, because
like when I say a good cop, I mean like somebody who like actually like there's like this like it feels like every few years there's a cop that goes viral who's just beloved in his community, who's interviewed by like 60 Minutes or something, and people just love him because he's a good guy. He cares about the kids, he cares about the community, he cares about keeping people on the right path. And it's like every couple of years they put one of these people out like he's the fucking he's the fucking norm when they probably took 2 years to find someone that's goddamn amazing.
Or they show the videos of like the cops giving kids sneakers and shit. Like, oh no.
Dancing with them in TikTok videos, doing the fucking whipping nene with them and shit.
Yeah, it's literally the equivalent. Like let's say like you get into an argument with like your brother or some shit like that, or no, let's say you get into an argument with your homie and shit like that, and y'all get to the point where you about to fuck this nigga up, you about to beat his fucking ass, and he's like, all right, bro, we cool though, right? And he starts showing you like pictures of his mom. Oh, me and mom. No, bro, you just did X, Y, and Z. So it's like they did all this shit, and because they give a kid shoes, we're supposed to just ignore the fucking they just did all this time. Yeah. And how basically where were the good cops at in a lot of these situations? Where were the good cops at with the what the fuck was his name? Elijah McClain.
Well, let's be real.
Skinny ass special needs kid.
Especially in predominantly black and or urban areas. Have you ever heard of Beau of the Fifth Column?
No.
Check him out. I think he's a smooth talking redneck guy lefty like us, all about like community and building and all
I've
that.
probably
Like
seen
that.
if he's on like TikTok and Instagram. I've probably seen some of his shit
He's
before.
not. I think
Okay.
he's primarily on YouTube. He's good. He's good though. I really like him. You like him. You might not agree with everything, but it's like generally he's just like, you know, he's military background. He's a good guy. Here's what I will say. He made a very, very interesting point on like why like conservative people in the South should care about police brutality in urban areas. He said, well, like he said, like he basically likened it like this. What do you, as a person living in the Bible Belt, when I say the word ATF, what does that mean? Like you feel a level of anger, distrust. They're not there for your well-being. Or if you live in Arizona, California, Southern California, and New Mexico, or Nevada, I say, what about BLM? And for all and he says, I'm not talking for all the liberals watching. I'm not talking about Black Lives Matter. I'm talking about the Bureau of Land Management. You know those feelings you get when I mention BLM or the ATF. Those feelings are exactly what people in urban areas feel when these people are there to lord their authority over you. They're not there to protect you. Now, in your hometown or where you're from, you might, like, the cop driving down the street, you've known your whole life. The sheriff, it's 4 doors down. He's one of the, you go to, he comes over to your mom's house for dinner, I think, like over Thanksgiving. The sheriff's wife and your mother are friends. Your dad and him go out to drink beers every Thursday night.
But a lot of these maniacs.
But here's the thing, and this is where he gets to the point of like, but you know that there's those people in the department who ain't all right, who ain't good, who are a little aggressive, people who you remember being bullies back in school.
They'll get a false confession out of somebody with a fucking phone book and come home and sit down and eat dinner with their family.
Essentially, and says over time, like that person, gets incentivized to go somewhere else. Where do you think a lot of those police officers end up eventually? Places where that type of aggression and that type of oppression is a hot commodity for those departments.
Yeah.
That's where they go to Baton Rouge. That's why they go to Atlanta. That's why they go to Charleston. They go to LA, to New York. They go to Philly. Houston, Dallas. They go to Denver, Philly, Baltimore. They go to all these other places where the community doesn't have the power to make them stop. And he makes this point, and I'm like, it's like he's an example of kind of just like what I think is like a marketeer, like the marketer of the left, of just like, how do you market these ideas to people who would absolutely agree with them if you just peel away the partisan hackery and just put it in a frame that they understand. Yeah. And that's the big thing. It's like most Americans, I think, the vast majority of the average working American has a general disdain for authoritarianism. Like we have to deal with it to some degree at our jobs.
No, and I think No, they don't. Most Americans don't. In
terms of active authoritarianism on you, meaning like somebody's oppressing you.
Yeah. This country's been oppressing people economically for decades. People just
right, and so it's like we've been dealing with the economic side of it. So it's like whenever we get like someone outside of that, it's a little more fucking noticeable. Now, the question of whether or not I'm not talking like set the economic shit to the side for a moment, okay? Like we get it, like capitalism bad, and like the owner class.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I know, but it's like
the economic is more important than the other,
I'm
in
not
my
I'm
opinion.
not saying that, but just work with me here, dude. Come on. It's like the point is that I think, at least as far as like the policing issue in this country and fixing, you know, ever and fixing like how things work in this country from a policing standpoint, at least in larger population centers, like the police model we currently have needs to drastically change, and we basically, I think, need to purge, the employment roles of most police departments. Like there needs to be like tests of just there needs to be tests of like, do you care, non like, obviously a scientist could come up with a test of just like, if they answer this, this is what it means. If they answer this is what it means. It's like, if you see somebody breaking the law, like, or if you see somebody stealing, if an apple from a food stand, what's the appropriate response? You take the apple, put it back, and it costs them. You like from perspective of a child or something. It's like, you're a 5-year-old boy, and you see another 5-year-old boy take an apple. What do? Do you tell your mother that happened? Do you tell the shop owner that it happened? Do you tell the kid not to do that? Do you take the apple and put it back and tell the kid not to do that? And then basically, like, you can kind of just like do like a little. That's obviously not perfect, but a test like that, which basically will make people tell on themselves, and then if basically assign them a fascist score based on the fucking results, and those people gotta go. At the end of the day, there's like, if you also, I also want to talk about this. How much social work, like, and social workers are just an outlet for a white woman's self-actualization.
Yeah.
That shit is like, and I think, and I would love, and like, Amani's like an inner city guy, and he grew up in the inner city, and I think he would be a much better person to talk on about this. But regardless, I will say this though, I do have to, so by the way, since I became, and Caleb, just to be clear, since I became unemployed, I have started waking up at 8 o'clock, showering, eating breakfast, and brushing my teeth, and started live streaming at 9 a.m. for a few hours. Just so I kind of like stay in the rhythm of like being an adult.
Yeah.
While I'm like, not like, I'm like, so I do want to get to bed. I do need to go crash because it is almost 11 o'clock right now. So you mind if we wrap up?
Yeah, sure, man.
Yeah. You okay?
All right, guys.
I'm so sorry if I talked too much over you and shit, bro. Like, I didn't mean to be too aggressive at the end. I just wanted to like kind of get like the policing point home and remove like the economic shit for a moment. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I mean, look, the only point I was going to make is you improve people's economic shit, crime will go down, and the need for cops will become less.
1,000%, 100,000%, like not even a question.
So yeah, because I gotta hurry. I was saying because I gotta edit this video and at least get one video out for Monday. So I will go ahead and close it out there, guys. This has been another episode of Tox Talk.
You got 15 minutes. You got, boy.
HiMedia. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, mind if I plug a couple things? Oh, you're good. Yeah, sure. So my name's Evan. I'm a proprietor of a business called HiMedia. You can check me out on YouTube at HiMedia YT, if that's the link in question. We also,
and it'll be down in the description too.
Yep. You can pull it from my channel. I got here. I also have a bunch of podcasts. Anything from like stock and crypto to build a better business. Just like I have business owners on saying how, like, just talk about some of the things that they've learned and things that they've done and like how they failed. And some of the best thing you can learn when doing something is how to not do something without making that same mistake yourself. I've got political stuff. I've got an interview show. I think I have you and Amani on for one of them as well. Somewhere. You can check that out at bit.ly/HIM podcasts. Caleb, you can find that link in any of my videos. It's there too. And thank you guys so much. This is kind of the anniversary of like today, like I said earlier, I got 500 subscribers on my YouTube channel, and we're halfway there. We're halfway there. I don't even want monetization. I just want access to polls and shit.
Facts. I feel that.
Yeah,
to do like the YouTube media stuff. That's honestly why I want to get monetized, or not monetized, but yeah, I guess.
But just get to 1,000. Just get to 1,000. Like if you can get to 1,000, you get access to the community tab. You get access to the polls. That'd be amazing. I'd love that. But
I'm thinking about posting like mini like articles on there and shit like that, like just like mini opinion pieces and shit. So
I swear to God, if you don't fucking start using your goddamn Patreon as your like for journal entries and shit, I'm going to come to your house and beat the black off your ass. I swear to God.
I'll get to it eventually.
I know. I put out one today on my Patreon, which you can go to, will probably be down there too. I don't fucking know. And lastly, please, as far as like crypto picks for crypto or stock picks, just like from my head, my girlfriend's grandfather suggested me to get UiPath. I bought it at like around 11 today, and by the end of the day, it went up $1. So I guess it's worth something. So it's more of a long hold pick as far as crypto goes. Crypto market's currently in a bit of an uphill. There's a very good chance that within the next few weeks, it'll probably end up tanking again. I highly suggest picking up Algorand, but I wouldn't pay more than 80 cents for it. Preferably more in the 77, 76-ish range. Get it on Coinbase. It's got a 4% APY. Buy 100 of them for 70, $80 and hold it. You know, it's like when it'll eventually go back up to above $1 and you'll make a mint.
Yeah, we definitely rock with crypto on this show. I'll be talking that on Stock Talk with my guy.
DeFi life.
Yes, sir. So that being said, it's been your guy Bendu with Tox Talk, hashtag dirtbag left gang.
Yo, fuck with that hashtag though.
Facts, yeah.
Dirtbag left, yo. I fuck with that heavy.